Researchers have raised concern at a notable decline in the national average financial literacy in the country. Market research company Africa Response has attributed this to, among others, COVID-19 and the accelerated digitalization of financial services. Now, joining us to discuss this further is African Response Managing Director Mamapudi Nkgadima. Good afternoon, Ms. Nkgadima, and thank you very much for your time. Very worrying data that financial literacy among citizens is declining. Just talk us through the data that informs this assertion.
Good afternoon. Yes, I think first of all, I just want to start by confirming what do we mean by financial literacy, because there could be a lot of interpretation or misinterpretation. And I think the essence of why financial literacy is key is because it enables people to make informed decisions. It makes people to make effective planning or even wise ways of using money, and ultimately even informed decisions. Now, what we've seen by looking at various research from different organizations, confirmation is that the financial literacy is declining over the years, and South Africa is sitting at 41%. But comparing with other countries, I've just looked at two countries, Botswana sitting at 51%, which is like the icon for the African continent. But when you look at Somalia sitting at 15%, now that's a concern. And I think what the study that was done for the Financial Sector Conduct Board confirmed through Human Services Research Council, really confirmed that between 2011 and 2020, there has been a significant decline.
And what are the contributing factors to this decline?
I think the contributing factors for this decline are threefold, really. If you look at looking at the South African population, because the biggest impact is felt amongst women, amongst older people, and amongst people in rural areas. Now, the biggest impact is, as you know, COVID impacted the ability for people to not necessarily be engaging one-on-one or face-to-face, but rather digitization. So with digitization comes challenges, because now how do you deliver education? Obviously, digitization provides convenience, and with convenience comes a lot of more risks, because as you know, you're more susceptible to a lot of challenges, which then makes a financial literacy to be very critical.
But this is where the world is moving. We're all moving digital, so digitization, it seems this word doesn't want to come out of my mouth. But with the world moving to digital, it only makes sense that you are able to reach a large number of people by having such type of financial services. So what gap needs to be closed here? Because it seems it's the only way we're going.
The biggest gap that we've realized, and us as African Response, as a market research company, have been engaging with a number of financial services companies to deliver consumer financial education, and specifically targeting the marginalized groups, people in rural areas, people older people. And I think it's the ability to call all the different interested parties to make sure that the financial literacy programs talk to the needs of the people, and it also talks to the relevance, to accessibility, and to the relevance. Because there's one thing saying you are delivering financial literacy education. There's another thing saying how relevant is it? Is it talking to the realities of the people that is targeted at? And I think ability to use the same digital channels to deliver consumer financial education is of critical aspects.
So talk to us a bit more about how African Response is attempting to reverse this trajectory.
So African Response, in partnership or in providing a service for the various financial service organization in the country, are specifically targeted to go to rural areas and focusing on understanding the realities of the people on the ground, of working with different structures within the communities in delivering the consumer financial education. One of the things that you might understand is South Africans have had their ways of delivering their own ways of saving. Talk about stokvels. Now, how do we tap into those organized means of saving to make sure that there is financial education to say, this is the better way of doing it, this is how you can do it better. So you're not coming up with something that is outside of how people do things, but you are working with communities, you're working within community structures.
All right. Thank you very much, Mamapudi, for that. That's African Response Managing Director Mamapudi Nkgadima speaking to us.